This video has been requested on several occasions, and here it is. We're going to start off with getting 2 pillows. They can be any pillows, but try to get them a little bit more firm if you can. We're going to work on keeping our chest up like I just demonstrated. We're going to start by placing the base of our back right at the edge of the pillow so that our head is cradling just the end. Reach up as best you can. Let your arms hang and just get used to this opening feeling of your chest. So we're going to start to perform snow angel motions of our arms. Gently bring them down and reach back up over your head. Now I recognize this can feel intense, especially if you have been at a desk all day, which is one of the reasons why I understand you clicked on this video. But what I'm trying to say is just be patient with yourself. The more that you do this, especially if you're doing this every day after work, your improvement is going to be astronomical. So if you aren't comfortable with the level you are now, just give yourself time and eventually this will become easier and easier. We'll do 4 more here. So this counts as 1, reaching all the way to the top. Make sure to inhale and exhale as you lower. 3, inhale, down, up and inhale. Really feel that stretch, embrace it. Down and exhale. Up and inhale. Down and exhale. So use your legs, grab them to sit up. We're going to get another pillow if the other one wasn't too intense for you and you feel you can. Side note is you can always try, and if it's too much, then just take it away. But we're going to get even more of an arch and opening. Let your arms hang out on the side, really make your arms heavy, and synchronize your breathing with this snow angel movement. Prepare to sit up again. Grab your thighs and sit up. Last pillow here. Really tuck it in the base of your spine and lean right back over top. Now it will get a little bit more challenging for you. Place your arms on the ground, but just do your best here. If I'm moving too fast, please do not feel that you need to keep up with my pace. If you want to take a little bit longer to do so, then by all means, take your time. It's all about what your body says that it needs. It's not about me. It's about your progress. We'll recover again here. Grab your knees or behind your knees if you have to. And now we're going to work on a movement to help with the synchronization of our shoulder blade muscles when we're moving. So I'm going to show you, you're going to bend your knuckles and place them right beside your eyes on your temples. Now slowly move your elbows towards each other. You want to get them touching if you can and exactly aligned with one another. So slowly touch and then control the movement back, elbows all the way to the floor if you can. So you see that movement there, that's what it's going to look like. They're completely leveled. and they're completely leveled in the front as well. So when they're coming in, they're 100% aligned. So keep up with that. And now you can go a little bit faster if you have the movement down. Otherwise, just maintain a nice, slow, steady pace. We're going to be doing quite a few here. We're going to be aiming for 30 reps. But if that's too much because you're tired or you're noticing the quality of your movement is decreasing, then just stop where your body tells you to stop, because I would rather you do quality movements as opposed to getting a bunch of crappy reps in. So our last 2 here, and 1. Now we're going to prepare to go on all 4s on our elbows. This is going to stretch out the back of our neck muscles, so just let your head completely hang here. One thing I want you to know though is if you are feeling any pressure in your head by doing this, then just take a step back, forget about this one. It's just because you have pressure in your head because of the day. Maybe you're irritated by the screen that's bothering your eyes, or you had a stressful day and therefore that caused extra pressure in your head. Don't worry about it. Just do what you can. Again, only do what makes your body feel good in this case. You do not want to force yourself. Otherwise, if you're all good and you're not feeling pressure in your head, then continue on. So you would have saw that I lifted my head up and then back down. This is solely for the purpose of getting the blood flow going in the areas that we need it. Making sure that our necks and upper backs are staying strong to support our head is something that's very crucial when you do desk work. Because even though you may sit all day holding up your head, you'd be surprised how bad posture takes over and muscles that should be strong aren't strong. Just a few more here. Last 2 here. And last one. We're going to momentarily relax and sit into child's pose. And then we're going to prepare to stretch out our hip flexor. When we take a step forward, we're going to put our heel on the outside of both hands. And then let your hips gently fall towards the floor. Now you want to think of holding a stretch at the intensity that you would feel comfortable holding for 5 minutes if you had to. We're not going to hold this just for 10 or 15 seconds. We're holding this one for longer because we want the muscle to actually release. If you only hold a muscle for a few seconds, it immediately kind of contracts because it thinks it has to protect the joint from being injured. That's why we need the body to trust that it's not being injured for it to actually release. In a few moments here, we're going to prepare to push ourselves back and forth in this position. So rotating kind of side to side, because as we're moving side to side, we're getting different fibers of the muscle. You can turn your hand out if you need to help with this motion, because you're doing this motion by pushing yourself side to side using your hands, not your hips. Again, the intensity of the stretch should be you being able to hold this exact stretch for 5 minutes. Don't push yourself past that point. Just shift yourself once more each way. 1 and 2. Okay, now use your arms and your top leg to shift your hips back. You're going to notice that the muscle that you were stretching out is going to be a little sore. So just recover momentarily in child's pose. Take deep breaths if you need to. And now prepare for the other side. So same thing, heel on the outsides of both hands. Let your hips gently fall towards the floor as if you were to hold the stretch for 5 minutes. That's the level of intensity of the stretch. If it's more than that, and you would struggle to hold the stretch for even a second, that's way too much. And throughout this entire time, do not forget to breathe and keep your neck in line with the rest of your spine. Don't let your head hang. Try to keep good posture to reinforce that so that you're practicing that for when you go back to sitting at your desk and doing the work that you have to do. Few seconds here, we're going to start shifting back and forth, very gently reminding you just to use your arms to do this movement. Do not use your hip to move your hip. Use your arms as leverage to push your body back and forth so that you can successfully get different fibers of the muscle in the front of your other hip. We'll just shift 2 more times, back and forth and back and forth. Again, use your arms and your leg to push your hip back. Again, it's normal to feel a little bit of soreness, not pain, but soreness. And sit back in child's pose and breathe. We're going to get an elastic band now. If you have a tubular one, awesome, but if you have one that you need to tie into a tube, that works as well. So just tie it so that your feet are hip width apart so that you know it's going to be an okay intensity. And if you can, start with the lightest band and then work your way up so you know what is good for you at your level. Now we're just going to switch back and forth, almost like when you do crunch switches, like this bicycle pattern. That's exactly what you're going to be doing. So squeeze your glutes to push your leg and then squeezing your hips to pull up. The reason why we're doing this is because we are working the muscles that we're just stretching, the hip flexors, and the opposing muscle, the glute max muscle, which will help relax the hip flexor. These 2 muscles are very important. Keep going here. Don't forget to breathe. Keep your core nice and tight. So when you're doing this, you're not letting your hips rock back and forth. They're staying completely straight. Right, so let's move into the upper body with the elastic exercises. We're going to wrap the elastic band around our hands a couple times. And we want it at a good tension here, because we're going to be attracting blood flow to the shoulder blade area. So you want to be able to stretch it easy enough. You're going to hold one hand shoulders down and using the other hand to rotate out. So keep your elbows right pressed by your side, and it's your shoulder blade and back of your arm that's moving your arm outward. Now switch arms. 5 seconds out, 5 seconds control in. 5 seconds out other side. 5 seconds, control in. Switch side, 5 seconds, shoulders down, squeeze your shoulder blades together and control back in. Don't let the elastic fling your arm back in. And pull out, keep your stabilizing arm nice and straight and control in. You may start to feel a burning sensation at this time. Just bear with me here. That burning sensation is really starting to starve the muscle of oxygen and blood flow, which is great because once we release, then there's going to be a massive rush of blood to the area, which is going to be great for healing, which is going to create an optimal healing environment for any elements or any neck pain or shoulder pain that you may have because of the desk work, or because of looking at the screen, or because of stress, whatever the case may be. Now let yourself relax, let the blood come back to your neck and shoulders. In the meantime, when we recover, we're going to work on our deep neck flexor muscles. So put your thumb on your sternum and your index finger on your chin. And you saw how I just tucked my chin there. I tucked all the way so that my index finger touched my nose. Now, there's a muscle called the sternocleidomastoid that I have my hand on right now, and I'll show you it popped out in a moment. But I'm not utilizing that muscle to bring my chin towards my chest. So see how it's popped out here? I'm not using that muscle. So I want you to place your own hands right on either side of your throat and just make sure when you're tucking your chin down and your index finger is making contact with your nose, that muscle is not popping out. That's how you know you're using your deep neck flexor muscles to tuck your chin towards your chest. Now, these muscles are incredibly important because these muscles are the only muscles in the front of your neck that attach on to the spinal columns of the neck. There's other muscles like the sternocleidomastoid and the muscles in the back of your neck and the upper fiber trap muscles that get tight on the tops of your shoulders that are trying to stabilize the neck, but since they have no attachment into the neck whatsoever, they actually cause compression in your neck and make matters worse. So tuck now towards your chest, nice and slow, controlled, and relax. Back up. We're going to do 7 more here, nice, slowed, controlled, and purposeful movements. This is also a great exercise to practice throughout your workday on a break, along with some other stretches, opening up your chest, waiting in line for your coffee. Don't forget to breathe. Make sure you're not contracting that sternocleidomastoid muscle. Few more. Now, the only reason I have the thumb and index fingers, it just helps to give a nice guideline. You don't need to have that finger there if you don't need it. Great, so let's get the TheraBands again. Same thing, wrap around your hands a couple times. Elbows right pressed by your sides. Elbows pressing down. And 5 seconds to move one arm at a time. Remember, you're using your shoulder blades and the back of your shoulder to do the movement and control the movement back. 5 seconds each way. So just keep repeating to yourself, shoulders down, elbows to your side, squeeze shoulder blades. Shoulders down, elbow by your sides, squeezing your shoulder blades to do that movement. One more each side. 5-second squeeze. I know it's burning. Just try to control the movement as best you can. Keep the shoulders down. Keep your elbows by your side. You're almost done. Breathe through it. Breathe through it. Control. 2, 1, and release. So feel the blood getting back into the shoulders and the neck. Now let's finish off with stretching. We're going to stretch the scalenes and the upper fiber trap muscles of our neck. So sit on your hand and pull your neck with the other side. Now when I say pull, I don't mean crank on your neck. Just a nice gentle pull. Again, where you feel comfortable enough to hold the stretch for 5 minutes if you had to. So inhale and exhale. Now turn your nose towards your armpit. So think of smelling your armpit. This will help to stretch the backs of our neck, known as the upper fiber of trap muscle. Again, the principles here apply. Keep breathing and hold the stretch as if you could hold it for 5 minutes. Nothing more intense than that. Slowly recover up and sit on the other side. Arm over and gently pull on the side. Inhale, exhale. And smell your armpit. Pull your head down comfortably. And inhale as you begin to recover from this position. I want to thank you for watching this video and taking time to perform these stretches and exercises. This is definitely a great start for you to continue doing this, because once you start, and if you think it was hard, just give yourself some time. Be patient with yourself, be patient with your progress, because if you're doing it now when it's hard, it will be easier tomorrow. It will be easier a week from now. It will be easier a year from now. But what I know for sure is that when you do something about something in your life that's bothering you, it's better than doing absolutely nothing at all and letting it get worse. If you have any requests for future videos, please leave them in the comments below. And if you would like to see when these videos are released, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. Thank you for being a part of this journey, and thank you for supporting me.